VoxMundo, English story time. Especially slow and clear English for beginners. Original story, The Choice Within. Hello and welcome to another video from VoxMundo. Today we will listen to a story in English. The story will be told slowly and clearly so you can understand and learn new words and sentences. This is a great way to improve your listening skills and enjoy the beauty of the English language. Are you ready? Let's begin. What if one quiet moment could change your entire life? Not a loud event. Not a grand tragedy. Just a single, still choice. This is the story of that choice. And maybe just maybe it's also yours. In a town where time seemed to stand still, surrounded by misty hills and quiet woods, lived a girl named Liora. She was neither famous nor forgotten. She lived in the house with the blue shutters. The only house that still smelled like old wood and freshly baked bread. Her world was quiet. But Liora was not. Her thoughts were loud, wild, untamed. She had dreams that didn't fit in small spaces. Every morning, she would walk to the riverbank with a notebook and a pencil with teeth marks from restless nights. She wrote about places she'd never been, languages she'd never heard, faces she hadn't yet met. Her father, a quiet shoemaker, believed in fixing things that broke. Her mother, a painter who had stopped painting, believed in waiting. And Liora believed in something else, though she couldn't name it. One day, while walking the forest path behind her house, Liora saw something strange. A door. It wasn't attached to anything. Just a door, standing upright, upright, in the middle of a clearing. It was old paint chipping brass handle dulled by time, and carved into the wood barely visible were the words, "You may return, but nothing will be the same." Liora stared. The wind didn't blow. The birds didn't sing. Everything waited. So she did the only thing that made sense in that moment. She stepped through it. The world beyond was nothing like home. It was not another town or city or country. It was between. A place where dreams floated like clouds, where the sky wasn't blue or gray, but stories shifting in the wind. And walking toward her was someone she didn't recognize, but felt she knew. A version of herself. Taller, calmer, eyes wiser. "You made it," the other Liora said. "Where am I?" she whispered. "Where you've always been heading. This place had rules, but not the kind written down. Time passed, but not in hours. Emotions had weight, and questions opened doors. Liora met other versions of people from her life. A teacher who had once scolded her, but here he played the violin under falling stars. Her best friend who had moved away, but here she never left. And in every reflection, Liora saw parts of herself she'd hidden away. Until one night, she stood in a field of lanterns floating upward. She whispered her deepest fear. What if I never find where I belong? And the lanterns whispered back, then created. Days passed, or maybe lifetimes. She learned how to listen to silence. She learned how to listen to silence. To read the stories written in people's eyes. To sit with her pain without running. And then came the time of return. You can go back, the wiser Liora said. But remember, nothing will be the same. Liora looked at the old door still standing in the clearing. She placed her hand on the worn brass handle and stepped through. Back to her town. Back to the house with the blue shutters. But things had changed. The town still stood, but Liora walked differently. She noticed things. The tremble in her mother's hand, the softness in her father's voice. She asked new questions. Listened longer. She returned to her notebook, but now she wrote truth. She began painting the walls of her room with dreams. And one day the townspeople noticed. They came to listen. And from the quiet girl with wild thoughts came stories that awakened everyone else's. Until one evening, she stood in the town square, telling the story of the door. And at the very back in the last row, sat someone young, silent, searching, just like she had been. And Liora smiled, because she knew another story was about to begin. We all have doors, not always with brass handles. Sometimes they look like hard conversations. Sometimes they look like letting go. Sometimes they look like beginning. But the truth remains, you don't find your path. You create it. So, if this story touched something and you didn't ignore it, take the first step. Ask the question. Open the door. And if you're still unsure, and if you're still unsure, just remember Liora. She was too. If this story moved something inside you, give it a like. Subscribe to VoxMundo to discover more stories that speak to your soul and help you grow. Turn on notifications so you don't miss your next journey. and tell us in the comments, what door are you ready to open? Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay curious.